What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video, and in today's video I'll be going over Lahtril, Blade of the Elves, and how I upgraded her precon. So let's get straight into it. And these two piles over here, these are basically the cards that I kept. Some are mostly just lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13 forest. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 swamps, command tower, Jungle Hollow, Myriad Landscape, Golgari Rot Farm, and Path of Ancestry. But there's also one more land in here that I added that'll help. So I'm pretty sure I have around like 32 to 35 lands in here. So let's just get straight into what we kept from the precon, make it quick, and then we'll go over what I upgraded and why I upgraded them, just to synergize or whatever. Win con condition. So here we have Elvish Mystic. Tap a mana dork for forest. Nothing much to explain. It's just a free mana. And then we have Beast Whisperer. Whenever I cast a creature spell, I draw a card. Imperious Perfect. Other elves I control get +1/1, and then I can create a token for 1 mana. Elderfang Ritualist. Whenever he dies, just return an elf from the graveyard. Recursion. Land of War Elves, another elf dork. Timberwatch Elf. This guy's insane, because when you have a million elves on the field, you just tap it and then give that all to Lahtril to finish the game, basically. Elvish Archdruid. Another one of these +1/1s, and then for each elf I can tap for mana if I would like. This one's good. Land of War Tribe. It taps for 3. Lise Alana Huntmaster. Whenever I cast an elf spell, I can create a elf token. This one's iffy, but it has reach. It gives other elves I control +1/1, so it's not that bad. The one main drawback is this one's not going to be attacking that much. So gain 1 life for each attacking elf, but he has to attack as well. So I haven't had the chance to actually attack with him, like just go full out, but that's the plan. It just doesn't go my way. The opponents know what you're doing when they see that coming out. Just trying to get more life for each elves you attack with. Here we have Wolverine Riders. It's pretty expensive, but each upkeep you can create an elf token, and then you gain life equal to its toughness if another elf enters the battlefield. Reclamation Sage, another great card, just destroy an artifact or enchantment. Shaman of the Pack, we can, whenever this ETBs, the opponent loses life equal to the number of elves I control. It's not bad. It's not that great, but it's pretty strong if you have a bunch of elves. Another one of these +1/1 with this, but this one taps for 3. Canopy Tactician, very strong. Marwyn the Nurturer, she's amazing, because whenever another elf enters, you can put a +1/1 counter on her, and then however many +1 counters are on her, you can just tap that for mana. Abomination of Land of War. I haven't been able to win a game with this just yet, but it has Vigilance, so it want tap when you attack with it, and Menace, so they need 2 creatures to defend. And then yeah, just the strength is how many elves I have on the battlefield or in the graveyard. Ruthless Winnower. It's a great card because I can't sacrifice much. I don't have that many non-elves in this deck. I have a few, but each players must sacrifice a non-elf creature. And yeah, it could be removed, but I kept it. Scam 4 Shadow Sage. This one's decent. Haven't really had much strength in it. It could be replaced like the other one, but it's still utility right here. Each opponent loses X life, where X is the greatest number of creatures I control, elves, or I can gain that much life. Wirewood Chandler. You can just add mana for the number of elves. Casualties of War, strong card. You can choose to destroy all their artifact. One artifact, one of their creatures, one of their enchantments, one of their lands, or one of their planeswalkers. Elvish Promenade. So it's not really, that one wasn't really a bull right, but it slows them down. And then you can just create this is a sorcery here. You can create elves tokens for each elf I control, so it's strong. Bounty of Scam 4. Put a land from among them onto the battlefield tapped. You reveal the top 6 cards of the library, and then grab an elf and then put it onto your hand. Pact of the Serpent. Choose your creature type. Elves. They draw cards and they lose life, where X is the amount of creatures of elves we control. Poison the Cup. Destroy 2 target creatures. Or destroy 1, sorry. Destroy target creature. If this spell was foretold, scry 2. Elven Ambush. Again, creating elf tokens. And then Petrified. Destroy target artifact or creature. It cannot be regenerated. This card is pretty expensive, but it will prevent all damage this turn. And you can search your library for the lands as much for the number as of creatures attacking you, so it's not bad. Just gotta keep it handy. Artifact Signet, Arcane Signet. Sorry, this is an artifact. Just add 1 mana. Soul Ring, add 2. Colorless, Elder Fang Venom. This is the last card I have in the pre-con that I kept. Attacking elves you control have Death Touch, so it's kind of scary for the opponent. And then whenever an elf dies, each opponent loses 1, and I gain 1 life. Alright, let's get into the juicy stuff here, boys and girls. Hunter's Bow. It's an artifact equipment. When it enters, I can attach it for free, and it deals damage equal to the power of the creature for up to 1 target creature that I do not control. It's okay. It's not the strongest, but it's decent. Coat of Arms artifact. Each creature gets +1/+1 for each other creature on the battlefield that share at least 1 creature type with it. So elves. Very good, very strong. Elvish Champion. This is an elf, but it says Lord. All elves have 1/1 and Force Walk. +1/+1 and Force Walk. So that's going to be useful for... Actually, I think I have another 2 lands in here that I upgraded. That we'll go over in a sec. One of them has to do with that. Sensei's Divining Top. Artifact. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put them back in any order, and then you can tap this and draw a card, and then put this back onto the top. Dictate of Erebos. Flash enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Forgotten Ancient. Elemental creature. Whenever a player casts a spell, you can put a 1/1 on Forgotten Ancient, but then at the beginning of your upkeep, you can remove that +1/+1 counters onto other creatures. That's strong. Cryptolith Right. Creatures can tap for mana. Here we have a Planeswalker, Freyalise. She can create for +2, create a 1/1 elf that can tap, or -2, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Once she reaches 6, you can draw a card for each green creature you control. Very cool. Sanguine Bond. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Arbor Elf. Untap target forest. Eldrazi Monument. This is a very good card. Artifact. Get creatures you control get 1/1, flying and indestructible. But there's a drawback. You have to sacrifice a creature, so maybe one of your tokens. Seedborn Muse. Untap all permanents you control. Brotherhood Regalia. This is an artifact equipment, but your equipped creature cannot be blocked, and it has Ward to Steely Resolve. As Steely Resolve comes into play, choose a creature type, and they cannot be the targets of spells or abilities. Nadier's Nightblade. Whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield. Leaves the battlefield. Each opponent loses 1, and you gain 1. Alhamret's Archive Legendary Artifact. If you would gain life, you gain twice as much that life instead. And the bottom one isn't really that useful, but it's there. Garrick's Uprising Enchantment. When he enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, draw a card. That's not the best part. The best part is creatures you control have Trample. And yeah, that's what we want. Trample. Tyvar the Pummeler. Legendary Creature Elf. You can tap another creature that is untapped, and then tap this so it gains indestructible, or... Oh, and I guess that does give you +XX, where X is the greatest power among elves or creatures, you control. Critterhoof Behemoth, very expensive, but it has haste, so you can attack with it as soon as it hits the battlefield. All the creatures gain trample and plus XX until the end of turn, where X is the number of creatures we control. So you can see a theme going on. We just want trample. We want to put plus counters on all our elves and tap them for mana. Alpha status. This is a strong card to get in the starting hand. Starting couple few turns to get Lahtril very strong. She gets plus 2/2 for each elf on the field. Basically, Azeri Renegade Leader. We can tap this for 5, 2 and 3 green. They get trample and plus 2/3. The elves do. Priest of Titiana, another elf that can tap for each elf on the battlefield. Enduring Vitality, Vigilance. Creatures can tap for 1, and then once this dies, it becomes an enchantment. Roaming Throne triggers an additional time. Very strong. Vitalize, untap all creatures you control. Doubling Season doubles the amount of tokens we create or counters we create. Wirewood Herald, you can search for an elf, or if once he gets put into the graveyard, you can search for an elf card and put it into your hand. Patrick Banner, +1/1, and tap for mana. Here we go. This is a legendary land that synergizes with Elvish Champion here. So it says each land is a forest in addition to its other types. So once they have forest, they cannot block your Lahtril. Sylvan Tutor, search for a creature card, reveal it, shuffle, put it on top. Gleesa the Trader, first strike with Dead Touch. This is a zombie elf, it's cool. You can just, whenever a creature dies, an opponent control dies, you may return an artifact card from the graveyard to your hand. We have a couple artifacts that are good in here, so that's strong. This is just a bank you can use. Drop a lot of mana, use a lot of mana. Strong card. Joraga Tree Speaker, very useful. And here's a Joraga Warcaller, multi-kicker, very strong. This is another land we added, 3-Tree City, tap for 2. Each elves we have on the battlefield can give us that much more extra mana. Bolastis Citadel, basically pay life to use lands or spells from the top of the library, and we can sacrifice 10. Each opponent loses 10. Dark Ritual, 1 black for 3 black, very strong in the starting hand. Aetherflex Reef Reservoir. Whenever we cast a spell, we gain 1 life, but the main thing is we pay 50 and we deal 50. So that's a very good win con there. Colonian Hydra, we just put this in the deck, so we haven't had much time with it. We're practicing with it, but it has trample. It enters with 4 +1/1s, and then once we attack, it doubles. So if we have that in doubling season, it will basically double the double. Alright, Well Wisher, gain 1 life for each elf in play. It's not strong, but it's useful. Lightning Greaves, Haste and Shroud, give it to your commander. Last but not least, Tyvar Kell. Another Planeswalker here, but this one, elves, we can tap it. And then for 0, we can create a token. For a +1, we can give a +1/1 counter to an elf and it gains Dead Touch. Or use 6, and whenever I cast an elf spell, it gains haste until end of turn, and we draw 2 cards. So in total, that was it. That was all the upgrades that I made for this Lahtril build. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next video. And so that was Lahtril. Last video we went over AC, but I might have made a few changes to it. And then next, we actually are building a new deck today, Kali of the Vast. So I'm going to go over to my local card shop and buy more cards to build it. And yeah, this is my first deck that I'm building. All the other decks I have are precons, and I made some upgrades, like Captain. I made a couple upgrades to him, which is fun. Brea, I made a couple upgrades to her. It's fun now. And Eldrazi, but I haven't made that much upgrades to him because he's strong already. So that's going to be it for me today. I'm signing out. Like and subscribe. Peace.